Everybody knows it, I'm on the Everybody knows it, I'm on the
What a wonderful Black Hot Fire family. Welcome to the Rhythm Scoop Show on the Black Hot Fire Network Media for the 21st century. It's about 17 minutes to 4 p.m. right here in Nairobi, and it's a wonderful afternoon where we get to link up and serve you great hits and fresh vibes on the Rhythm Scoop Show with the Black Hot Fire Network. My name is Spikes, alongside my co-host Kate and Zoe.
Yes, I carry Bunisana once again to the Rhythm Scoop Show. This is where we get to discuss about entertainment, art and culture, and we hope you are doing great as we get to vibrate these positive vibes. I say I love Nigerian men, and for one reason, you can you've heard the song, the song that our DJ right here has just played. They deliver, like the vocals. It's just attracting, because I had some people saying, or rather some Kenyan men said that Nigerian are coming to our country, they're stealing our women. Know how to throw the vibe sometimes. It really works, But karibuni sana once again, as we say, we are live and interactive on our social media handles. We are on Facebook at the Black Hot Fire Network radio station, on Twitter as well, and also on Instagram as you get to discuss with us the matters that we have aligned for you here today. My name is Jovi alongside Kate.
Yes, karibuni sana to our show today. I hope you're enjoying your day. I hope your day is going well. Here in Nairobi, it is very cold. It almost rained, but it hasn't rained yet. But it seems like it's gonna rain in the next hour or few hours.
Cloudy.
But yeah, it is cloudy. I said I hope you're enjoying your day. Our day is going well, and my name is Kate.
And I hope that everyone gets to engage with us on our social media platforms. We are on Twitter at Black Hot Fire, on Instagram Black Hot Fire Network, and also on Facebook Black Hot Fire Network radio station. But over that, we are also on the official website, which is www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. If you visit our website, you will be finding us right there, and we do have a social page. We are social, and we want to engage with you on the social page. So when you are on the blackhotfirenetwork.com, just click on the social tab, and it takes you straight to where you can be able to connect to the rest of the family on the social network for the Black Hot Fire family. I will just play you some wonderful music. The name of that gentleman is Keys Daniel, and Keys Daniel is actually doing the most. He was born in 1994, and of course he has been serenading the women with the wonderful tunes for a couple of years now. He is one of the fastest rising artists in Nigeria. He has been represented for the Afrobeat, I think for about 3 years now, and he is really doing well. He was born Oluwatobiloba, which is really a long name for a gentleman. Oluwatobiloba Daniel Anidube, of course from Ogun State, Nigeria, and of course he is from Abeokuta North Local Government. He attended Abeokuta Grammar School and graduated from the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta. So he also doubles up as a farmer. I do believe he might know a thing or two about agriculture, and of course that was in back in 2013 with a degree in water resources management and agrometeorology or water engineering or university. He decided to pursue music alongside with his studies, and he is actually coming out on top and doing very well for himself. I'm not sure if you were to pick, I would just like to engage Kate and Azobi. If you were to pick between Keys Daniel and also pick Fireboy. Fireboy DML, who would you be? Who would be your pick? Either between Keith Daniel or Fireboy
I'd go with
DML?
I'd go
Fireboy
with
DML. Fireboy DML.
Yeah.
I think Keith Daniel just lost on that one, but nonetheless, both of them are really, really talented, and we do have Fireboy dropping a jam, which is known as Vibration. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I love Vibration, one of the songs that I love about Fireboy, and Jealous, that is one of my favorite songs. But I just want to mention on the, you've hinted that he has done masters. Is it masters or PhD?
No, masters. No, he has actually pursued.
Certificate?
He has actually pursued. He did a degree in water resources management.
Wow, that's nice. For starters, I did get to bump into someone saying, a celebrity who was saying that despite her being famous, she does not rely on her being famous or music only. It is good sometimes to go get your paper outside there, just acquiring a little knowledge. As much as we know the system of education is still bad, but I'm ensure that at least you have done something. It could be maybe out of agriculture, maybe law, whatever you are trying to achieve, which I think is a good move.
And I think, like you said, that you would actually choose the Fireboy DML over Keith Daniel, which is still good. Keith Daniel is also trying to do the most, and we do hope that has he toured Kenya? Has he toured Kenya?
I don't think so.
I think he has not toured.
I think he has. He has. He has. I don't know.
Let me just get to confirm.
I think sometime back there was a concert, an opening concert. It was not Keith Daniel. The guy who did the collaboration with Calligraph Jones. What is his name? The guy who did the collaboration from Nigeria with Calligraph Jones.
I do not remember his name, but I think he has not been. I think
Sakodi.
he has Sakodi.
Yeah, Sakodi.
Sakodi is Ghanaian.
Yeah, Sakodi has come to Kenya.
Yeah, Sakodi is from Ghana, and for him he has represented here, and we have also seen other different individuals are coming up in different festivals. Last year we were supposed to see many concerts being performed, but we do know how it went on with the whole COVID pandemic. Not many artists were able to tour around the world. Others did even have plans to go to the UK, go to other different parts of the African continent from Kenya, but they were not really able to go do it. Nonetheless, we do hope that you are fantastic, and thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. It's always a delight, and we value your company. You can interact with us on our social media, like I said. We are on Twitter, and just in case you're wondering whom we are talking about Keith Daniel. And you can be able to just go check him out. We did post one of his most recent projects. It's actually known as a Lie, and it's also he's doing very, very well for himself with that particular one. That we did play some minutes earlier on. You can check him out and see what Keith Daniel is about. He has been getting too much love. Right now he has about over 6 million plays. Over 6 million plays. And no.
Keith Daniel.
You're talking about Keith Daniel still. Right. Yeah, he has over 6 million plays, and he is doing very, very well for himself. But nonetheless, we want to go back a little bit into music, and when we come back, we shall be introducing our conversation for today. We shall also be letting you know what has been happening around the continent of Africa, because every other minute something new is happening on the continent, and we are here to keep you informed as well as entertained regarding different issues on the continent of Africa and even globally. This is also another banger. It's from Nigeria as well. The name of this one is Onyeka, and it's by the one and only Vulnerable.
Baby mama, oh, gone. I didn't look at you, cool, and I didn't see I'm done. Nobody let me stand up, really not Jackie Chan. But if you use me, shall I look up, pick your car. So make you look at me at all. Say my baby, my baby. You know I'm selling me a window. I mean, I go later a window. And if you give, I go take you. Oh, shake you. I still the sun in your case. I think I look make you mistake you. And if you leave, I go press you. Because you be my honor. I'm searching for your answer. You be so nana. You be my baby mama.
This is Black Radio, 21st century. And that is one and only Burna Boy. I think that jam is meant to make you dance. For anyone that has listened to that particular one and never had the urge to dance, then you are likely not really normal. But we
Then
are
you
with
tell me, you end up telling me that Nigerian men do not have the vibe.
The vibe is here. I do not I do not
there.
object the fact that they are able to serenade their women well, but I was just saying that when it comes to also support, the Nigerian people give their music their support. That is one of the things that makes them also rise to the top. And also they have a big population, meaning that they have a bigger market for the music, and therefore even if you were to do a concert in Nigeria and you ask for about $5, maybe $10 on everyone, then that would actually make you very rich, or even $1. That would also be a lot of money because the population is wider right there. I was reminding us that our network website has been revamped. So therefore, if you would like to visit us on the network website, please make sure you are free to do so. You can visit us and let us know how your days are coming along, and also get to interact with us. We always do say no one has a monopoly on knowledge, and therefore you can know a thing that I do not know, and I also do know a thing that you might not be aware of. And when we get there, we get to link up and enlighten one another. They always do say that iron sharpens iron, and when we get together, we are much better in terms of how we are able to share this information. And also, we aspire that on the network website, we shall be instrumental in serving the role of inspiring a collective African consciousness and also awakening our people. It doesn't matter whether you are from Senegal, it doesn't matter whether you are from Jamaica, whether you are from New Jersey, whether you are from Brazil. As a black person, we just want to come together and connect and uplift each other with knowledge and information, and also with action, not just a whole lot of talk, but also with action. Today, I want to take us all the way into the Gambia, and of course, I want to share with us some Gambian proverbs. We always do say that the wise men or the older in the society had always found ways of imparting knowledge to the younger generation using proverbs, and therefore there are a couple of Gabonese sayings or Gabonese proverbs, and of course they always do say. One of them reads, when spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. That is what they do say. When spider webs unite, they can tie up a lion. And that means that when people come together, you can be able to overcome. Unity is what this particular kind of proverb inspires. Because you might have, interweave a lot of spider webs, and eventually just cover up its eyes or do something to it and overcome it. And they always do say that the witness of a rat is another rat. The witness of a rat is another rat. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're witnessing something, and then it's in a compromised situation, then it means that you are also part and parcel of what is going on around there. For example, you might find yourself in the middle of witnessing a drug bust, or what can I call it? A situation where there was the trade of a drug gone wrong, and you are in the middle there talking about what you saw. in the first place, people will ask you, what were you doing in that particular context? Because you say, oh, I saw someone pull up with a gun and things like that. But there will be many questions like, what could you also tell us, what were you doing around that particular area as well? They say the witness of a rat is also another rat, so therefore it's very, very important to also, check out the company that you are with, and also the people that you go around with, because it's very, very important that you always, you are also upholding a good character. The other one, which is the last one, I'll just share two more. The other Gabonese proverb reads, "You do not teach the paths of the forest to an old gorilla." You do not teach the paths of a forest to an old gorilla, because the gorilla already knows the paths. So there's no way you're going to tell it, okay, this is how you move from point A to point B in the forest, because they have already done it. And it's like they always also do. There's also another proverb that says you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. But they are a little bit different, but I do believe the effect, all the messages are also very, very much closer. So if you're thinking about Gabon, then you would know that they have had words of wisdom, and they are also people with the knowledge of self, and which is very, very much important, because the old men were also instrumental in terms of teaching the younger generation a few things that have made them
They say that whatever a wise man sees, even if you stand on top of a tree, you can never be able to see it. I don't know if you've grown up in the
They
same
say
city.
like a young man cannot, even when a young man is standing, they cannot see where the old man can see when he's seated.
That is the say, like whatever, even if, no matter how hard you go, like, on life, like, you're trying to act like you know everything, you'll always need the older persons, a little bit of advice or maybe some guidance, like this is how it goes in life, and this is the path that you're supposed to be taking.
I agree with you 100%. And also, when you talk about the Gambia, I just want, sorry, not the Gambia, but Gabon, like I did say, some of those proverbs and wise sayings that come from Gabon. And there are a couple of things that make Gabon really, really interesting. On the 54 Corresponding Show, I believe sometimes I have talked about Gabon, and I've just taken people to West Africa and gotten to, just share some interesting facts about them. One of the things that you really need to know is that Gabon is a country located on the west coast of Central Africa. So it's on the west coast of Central Africa. The official name of the country is Gabonese Republic, and it is bordered by Equatorial Guinea to the northwest, Cameroon to the north, the Republic of Congo on the east and south, and the Atlantic Ocean to the west. So it's not a landlocked country. And the official language in Gabon is French. On the 1st of January 2017, the population of Gabon was estimated to be about 1.8 million people. And it is the 76th largest country in the world in terms of a land area, with about 667 square kilometers, or 103,000 square kilometers. Its capital city is known as Libreville, which is the largest city in Gabon. And also you get to find out that about 85% of the country is covered by tropical humid forest. So there's a lot of tree forest cover in that particular country, and we have had in the recent past cases of people logging the trees and cutting down the trees and being involved with the deforestation in the country. I hope the government, led by Ali Bongo, gets to wake up and check on it. There is also one of the biggest mountains. It's known as Mount Ibonji, which is at 5,167 feet. It's slightly smaller than Mount Kenya, above sea level, and is the highest mountain in Gabon. And the people of Gabon seems to be, they are not living in hunger, because if you imagine the countries are covered by forest, then the forest provides rainfall, and people can go to farming and make sure that they are actually doing well for themselves. Apart from that, there are also a couple of other interesting small facts about Gabon. One of them, when it comes to poverty, Gabon boasts a per capita income 4 times the sub-Saharan average. As of 2015, 34% of the country still lived below poverty line, and I think maybe even now things are even worse than 34%. Some estimates place unemployment at more than 40%. So you will see that the people right there are not also employed. And of those who are employed, 64% are primarily employed in the subsistence agricultural sector. By 2025, President Ali Bongo hopes to move Gabon to a higher tech, higher skilled, which will potentially lead more quality jobs beyond subsistence farming. Number 2, until oil was discovered offshore in the 1970s, Gabon primarily exported timber and manganese. I was saying that the place is covered with it has a whole the forest cover is big, and so they have been known to export a lot of timber and manganese. As of 2012, Gabon had 2 billion barrels of accepted oil reserves, making it the 5th largest producer in sub-Saharan Africa. In fact, oil makes up to 80% of its exports right now and 45% of the GDP. But despite the money generated from oil, hydrocarbon sector unfortunately doesn't generate sufficient jobs. It's only a few people that have been employed with that. HIV and AIDS is a leading cause of death in that particular country. We also do have corruption in Gabon, but Gabon has been relatively stable politically since gaining independence from France in 1960 and electing El Hadji Omar Bongo Ondimba in 1968. Well, the current president right now is known as Ali Bongo, but he is the son of Omar Bongo, who was the president in 1968. It's just like we have in Kenya. The first president was Mzee Jomo Kenyatta, but right now we do have Uhuru Kenyatta, who is the son of the first president. It's the same kind of situation. We did have Omar Bongo Ondimba, who was the first president in 1968. And then we do have now the current president, Ali Bongo, who has been sick for a while. In some cases, I've had him being taken to hospital in Morocco and staying there for almost a couple of months. Almost, witnessing a coup in his own country. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a coup in Gabon and Ali Bongo was kicked out. But the elder Bongo's re-election in 2002 was riddled with allegations of electoral fraud. In 2016, when the younger Bongo was re-elected, the country erupted into riots, which resulted in the burning of the parliament building. And the people there also did express their discontent. So we do have a family that is like a dynasty, like we do have right here in Kenya. The life expectancy in this country is about 50s. Men live into their late 40s, but for women it's about the 50s. And of course, we also do have infrastructure. The roads are often impassable. So it's a country that is poor, even if it has oil, and also the roads and infrastructure has not been improved in that particular country because of the corruption. When it comes to education, they do say that 90% of primary school aged children were attending school. Literacy rates for young adults between 15 and 24 were at 89% for females and 87% for males. This shows an impressive improvement from 1985. So for people who might want to go check out the Gabon, I personally have not been to West Africa and even to Central Africa, but if ever the opportunity arises, I would in mind going to see what's good in Gabon. And also, like you had, it borders Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is also another country where they have had the same president for about 40 years. So you can imagine the country's president has been there for 40 years. And recently, he also did make his son the vice president, who is Teodoro Obioma Jr. And things are not bound to get any better in those two countries. But on the Rhythm Scoop Show, like I said, we purpose to get to update you on what's going on with the continent of Africa. And we shall be taking a short music break. And when we get back, we shall be discussing new matters, current matters, right here on the beautiful continent of Africa, as we get to find out, how to make matters or how to make things better. We purpose also to ascribe solutions, not just talk about the problems of the continent. We also do purpose to ascribe solutions. So make sure you interact with us on our social media platforms. We are on Twitter, we are on our Facebook, we are on Instagram, and above all, we are also on the network website, which is www.blackhotfirenetwork.com. And once you are on there, you can be able to interact with the rest of the family. In case you want to shoot us an email, feel free to do so. You can write to us, which is blackhotfireafrica@gmail.com. Once again, it's blackhotfireafrica@gmail.com. If you want to find us on WhatsApp, we are there, +254 754 42730. Let us know how your day is coming along. And of course, today we shall be discussing an important matter of children welfare and protection right here on the continent, as well as child adoption, which is a very, very big issue on the continent. We take a short music break. The name of the next jam is called by the one and only Lex the Wolf.
Feeling icy and cold, straight icy froze. Sitting in the jungle, waiting for the moon right now. Street is icy and cold. Ice in my chest, that's cold. Heart in my chest, that's froze. Street is icy and cold. Street is icy cold. I'm in the first stage, trying to get it right now. Moving with my goals, walking in the jungle, waiting for the moon right now. Street is icy and cold. Heart in my chest, that's froze. Ice in my chest, that's cold. That's cold. Nah, nah, nah. I got it. Go get it. I got it. Go get it. Street is icy and froze. Ice on my chest, that's cold. Heart in my chest, that's cold. Feeling icy and cold. Street is icy, froze. Ice on my chest, that's cold. Heart in my chest, that's cold. Feeling icy and froze. Feel it, come. I got it, go get it. I got it, go get it. Get it, go get it. Feel it, come. I got it, go get it. I got it, go get it. Get it, go get it. Feel it, come. I got it, go get it. I got it, go get it. Get it, go get it. Feel it, come. I got it, go get it. I got it, go get it.
And that is one and only Lexa Woofer, all the way from Nigeria, and he is actually also represented with that particular song known as Cold. And I think he's one of the most talented artists also coming from Nigeria. I don't know that Nigeria has so many artists, but every other minute we also want to serve you with the freshest vibes. And this is the Rhythm Scoop Show on the Blackwood Fan Network. My name is Spike alongside Kate and Zobi.
Yes,
and today we are discussing different issues, even a story from Zobi.
Yeah, and I wanted to discuss about a certain issue that has just popped up right now. And you remember when Samia Suluhu got into the presidency after Magufuli died, she did make some changes in the country. And one of the changes is that, one of the situation in the stories that Magufuli left behind, whereby students who are pregnant, they are allowed to go to school, and they are also supposed to be given, attention as other students. But right now there is a case that has opened up, and Tanzanians are also having an issue with the situation. They are like, these kids, because also we've also seen it in Kenya. I don't know if you've also seen it in Kenya, whereby a young lady, if you are pregnant, you are being ashamed, rather you are being shamed for you going to school. Why is it that you got pregnant as a mother? Why is it that you are doing this and this? Which I think is totally wrong. And for a nation, also to all the presidents, or rather the African president, because I've seen this mostly in Africa, and I'm speaking for my continent, whereby if a young girl becomes a mother, yes, she might have made a mistake, or someone might make mistakes happen, or maybe you are also raped, which is also it's like your rights are being violated. When you go to report this kind of issues, you are not being listened to. But my issue, or my point, is to young girls who get pregnant at an early stage, I think they are also supposed to be given the prioritized when it comes to school. Like, yes, you are allowed to go to school when you are pregnant, in the period of you being pregnant, but after giving birth, you're supposed to be given time, like a break. Like we have a student in this school, she's supposed to come back after nursing the baby or something like that. But we've seen so many schools where after you getting pregnant, you're gonna be chased out of that school. You're not allowed to come back again. Like, you are made to drop out of school at an early stage. And that is when you see, where I was talking yesterday, we've seen so many young girls ending up, even those who are mothers, ending up going to do some, to become hookers. Let me just say in general, to become hookers, to have to earn a living, or rather to be able to provide for their kids. That is my own point. I don't know about you, Kate.
Okay, on that issue, I'll say that it is not good to end a girl's education because just because she made a mistake and got pregnant, because one mistake doesn't, it is a mistake. That's why we all learn from mistakes, and making one mistake doesn't have to end your education life. So the government shouldn't be telling or shouldn't be imposing rules and laws that deny that girl who have gotten herself pregnant to continue with her education life.
Yeah, because I think it is denial. Because right now they have said that the campaign group Human Rights has called Tanzania's government to reverse the ban of pregnant students and adolescent mother attending school, describing it discriminatory and inhumane. The policy was imposed for four years ago by former President John Magufuli and is still in place under the leadership of Tanzania's first female president, that is Samia Suluhu. The Human Rights Watch say it is compulsory. The compulsory testing and exposure of pregnant students has denied thousands of girls the right of their education. I totally agree, and I think we are, or rather young girls are supposed also to be allowed to go back to school, despite you are a mother or not. We've seen elderly or rather elderly people also going back to school at the age of 20, at the age of not even 20, 40 or even 30 or 35. You're going back to maybe sit down for your education.
I remember there was a time in news we saw an old guy.
Man. Yeah, he was 100 and something years. I don't know if you saw that news spikes.
No.
There was older guy who was 100 years and he went and
something.
Yeah, he went and did his KCP studies and he passed. And
So, but I guess these matters are promoted also by the school head teachers and principals, because you'll find them chasing you away just because you got pregnant. They say you are distorting the school reputation. You're not so they care about the school reputation, not the school the students. So also the principals and the school head teachers should be talked about these issues and should not deny anyone a chance if they made a mistake and gotten themselves pregnant. It is getting pregnant is not the end of your life.
I think to make the matter simple, they should, me as a mother, if someone got me pregnant and I'm in school, yes, it might be my fault, but the person who's supposed to be followed the most is the guy who made me responsible. The person who's responsible for this pregnancy.
So how will you find them? Sometimes it's really even difficult. The thing is, when it comes to Africa, those things really don't even happen like that. Like the school is even concerned about getting whomever got you pregnant. That does not happen because we're living in a patriarchal society. So most of the time you'll find those schools that you are talking about, they are being led by headmasters, and those headmasters in their mind, they have also been brought up in a patriarchal society where they think that the man is free to do anything that they would like to do, and therefore even going to pursue that man or even going to pursue that maybe gentleman that was responsible, that will not happen. But anyhow, this is a Rhythm Scoop show on the Black Outfit Network Media for the 21st century. And now, of course, going back into Tanzania, there is one of the writers from Tanzania, a novelist who has been given the Nobel for the Nobel Literature Prize. His name is Abdulrazak Galnam, who has been awarded the Nobel Literature Prize. And I was thinking this might go to Nigerians, because Nigerians also do a lot in terms of writing literature. His name is Abdulrazak Galna, who was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature on Thursday, and for works that explore legacies of imperialism on uprooted individuals. Ghana, who was born and brought up in Zanzibar, later went on to England as a refugee at the end of the 1960s, as was honored for his upcoming compromising and a compassionate penetration of the effects of colonialism and the fate of refugee in the gulf between cultures and continents. According to the Swedish Academy, Ghana has published 10 novels and a number of short stories. He is best known for his 1994 novel known as Paradise, set in the colonial East Africa during the First World War, which was shortlisted by the Booker Prize for Fiction. The theme of the refugee's description runs through his work, and he began writing at the age of 21 in 1948 in England. So I'm not acquainted. I'm not well acquainted with his work, so I would not say like I have read this novel, which is known as Paradise. Neither have I read any of his books. But now there might be an interest to see why he has been nominated, because every other time you hear someone getting these accolades or these awards, there's something going on with his work, or there's something that they are trying to push when they give him, or they want to put him on a spotlight. Yeah, they want to put him on a spotlight and use him for a given agenda. Nonetheless, we are taking a short music break. When we come back, we do have more wonderful updates coming from the continent, and even stories from Katie. This is named as jam known as Finally by the one and only Staki Darkos. Let us know how your day is coming along. And that is the one and only Staki Darkos from South Africa. Even actually though the music wasn't done, because it's actually really a nice jam. And he is doing the most in South Africa, originally coming from Lagos, Nigeria. This is a Rhythm Scoop Show on the Black Fire Network Media for the 21st century. In case you want to engage with us, feel free to do so. Find us on Twitter at Black.fire. You can also visit us on our official website, which is www.black.firenetwork.com. Today we shall be discussing the different issues. One of them has to do with the child adoption and child welfare and protection on the continent of Africa. We have realized that because of the dysfunction in many families, and even sometimes because of calamities such as war and conflicts, you will find many children are being left in the danger of being exploited simply because they do not have parents. And what has happened is that you find many governments have not put in place proper structures that will enable taking proper care of these particular children. For example, if you go to a country like Ethiopia, you will find out because of the Tigray conflict, some children might be left as orphans. Yeah, they might be left as orphans. You might also go into a place like Sudan, and you will find a lot of children being orphaned simply because there is war. Sometimes because there is calamities and conflicts, and also sometimes because there's also hunger and other different challenges like this. Apart from that, we also did have the effects of HIV and AIDS. Most of the families were broken apart because of HIV and AIDS. You heard about us talking about Gabon, In Gabon, the biggest causes of death in Gabon is HIV and AIDS. In South Africa, it was also the same for a while, and in other different African countries. So there might be many calamities, there might be natural disasters, there might be diseases which render most of these kids orphaned. And what has happened is that when they are orphaned, they are actually at the danger of getting exploited, all in the name of adoption. And some countries have not really streamlined their adoption legislation and policies to make sure that they are looking after the interest of these kids. Sometimes back, there was the matter of Ethiopia, because in Ethiopia, they had actually outlawed the adoption of their children by foreigners, which is actually a good step. In Ethiopia, they had decided they will not be allowing the adoption of children by foreigners. Here in Kenya, there are some loopholes, I do believe. There are some loopholes when it comes to the matter of adoption. And I do believe the government also ought to stand up, because there is a lot of exploitation, especially from the West. You will find people coming in, they will say that they are looking for a child to adopt in the continent of Africa, and then they adopt 2 children or 3 children. But wherever they get taken, whether they are getting taken to Europe, or whether they are getting taken to Asia, or whatever part of the world they are being taken to, you will find that they are being taken to, they are being put in harm's way. So on January 9, 2018, the Ethiopian Parliament passed a new legislation banning all the inter-country adoption by foreigners, effective immediately. They say it was a shock to many in the adoption community. From 1997 to 2017, about 15,630 were adopted from Ethiopia to the United States. And not just the United States, you will find also other countries, other nationalities, also, for example, from Europe, also getting to adopt children from the continent. And the thing is, when it comes to that, it means that it's like a ground where people can come and fish for children to go and maybe perhaps use for the wrong reasons. Sometimes they might even use you might use them for organ harvesting. Sometimes they might even use for their sex pedophilia rings, and these children will be exploited even sexually. So I do believe what ought to happen right now, especially with many East African governments, not just East Africa but a wider part of Africa, especially in countries where there is a conflict, when there is war, and even when there are diseases. For example, in the DRC, there was an outbreak of Ebola. I think the same also did happen in Sierra Leone, or was it Sierra Leone? I think Liberia or Sierra Leone. There was also the outbreak of Ebola, leaving also kids without parents. So what should be done is that there should be a streamlining of the policies, in adoption, so that we can have like one common say. The African children will not be adopted and taken to foreign countries to be misused, to be abused in those countries. These also should apply also in other different areas when it comes to locally, or even not even from the international perspective, but even from locally. We should make sure that in different communities there is also the protecting of these children. There are many children homes. Some of them survive on government funding, others are privately owned, but there should also be a proper structure where they get to assure that even for the privately owned children homes, there is also the element of proper looking care of these children in these homes, and not to bring them to harm. Sometimes back right here in Kenya, there was a case where some Christian missionaries, quote unquote Christian missionaries, came up and they set up a children's home. There is also that particular, they came and set up a missionary home in, I believe it was in Eldoret. And when they set up the children's home, there were 2 Mzungus, the husband and the wife, and they also had other donors who were also involved with that particular project in Eldoret. And they were actually abusing these women and also putting them on family planning. And it's very, very sad to see that the government should also look into these particular NGOs that come into the country. They are disguised as well-wishers, and they are disguised as donors, but on the ground, that is the exact opposite of what is happening. They are adopting, they are helping in adoption of children, and then taking them into Europe or the USA for the exploration. I don't know what your thoughts are on the same, Joey.
Mine is quite very, this is something that we've been really talking about for some time, but I think most of the times whereby we've seen kids in the street, and of course, it could be maybe some family issue, drop out of school, and of course the same way Spikes has said, when you look at the matters of like how Al-Shabaabs were attacking Kenya a lot of times, you find that being an orphan, and maybe you providing, how do I say, not an orphan home or orphanage, but a place where people can rely on, you know, like you are taking care of street children, you are taking care of orphans, you are taking care of those who do not have even school fees to pay for themselves, because we've seen even others, as I said, those who have dropped out of school because they do not have enough fee to pay for themselves. And if you are like given the system of free education, then you are being told to go and come with $5, you know, for you to pay your fee, or rather to pay for your tuition monthly, then it's quite a lot for you to provide when you are living on your own, rather with your sister. So I blame the government, I blame the leaders, because all these, even when it comes to the matters of child adoption, you allowing foreigners to come into Africa. Let them have a purpose. For how long are you going to stay here, and how
What
What's
are
your
you coming?
business?
you know, yeah, what is your business right here? You know, for like there is supposed to be an order that you're supposed to follow, and they are also supposed to be following that order. There is supposed to be a right legislation on how these kids are supposed to be abducted. But why by the foreigners? The question is, after them being abducted, is the government doing proper follow-up, like these kids, where they are going, wherever they are staying, like maybe in a month or maybe a week, you call them, you know, are you okay, to ensure that they are fine. But most of us is because we want the money so much, rather we want to be seen as superiors, we are valuing as the mzungu sana, and we don't reason about this particular human, where how they are going to survive. So personally, I blame the leaders for lack of proper legislation of when it comes to matters of abduction, and also them not providing proper help, space. Let me just say, a place just where people can really rely on. Because when you look at the orphanages that we have in Kenya, most of them are owned by, let's say, churches. Churches in general, because they say a church is one of the places that you can really run to in case you are having a problem. There, in terms of churches, maybe some celebrities who are well off, then they brought up a foundation that is really helping. So I think that is one of the challenges that has really affected us as Africans.
When it comes to child protection and also their welfare, most governments really have their priorities are wrong. You will find a government focused on politics, or government focused on some other things. But when it comes to taking care of its own people and also the children, they are not doing that. They are actually looking at that as just a by the way, just another A or B, any other business, not a priority. But you remember Keith, I don't know if you remember, there was this missionary from Kenya. His name was Gregory Doe. He actually he pleaded guilty to actually assaulting children. He actually was a U.S. missionary who pleaded guilty to sex crimes.
That's out there in West Virginia.
Yeah, it was. He was a 61-year-old Mzungu who admitted to counts of engaging in sexual conduct with the minors in Kenya, and he was sentenced. He was sentenced to 25 years. He was sentenced to 25 years.
Well, finally, this piece of deliberate justice. You don't give your children to these white people ever. See, I told you, African mind has been completely corrupted with the fake religion that they were given. Then they get a hold of your children, they rape them, they torture them, they kill them for their organs. Black people, let me tell Joby and Katie, you are the best genetics of the planet. So organ harvesting means they come out to African people's organs. So you're the number one person in child trafficking for your organs. When they rape and abuse you, you never give your children to these crackers. Ever. Because you never put your child in harm's way.
And I was just saying that he actually admitted to getting to assaulting these girls, and they were from the age of 11 years, and another one was 12, another one was 13-year-old. And in this orphanage,
because he's white. He's white, and we're talking about that Jesus shit.
In this orphanage, this was a Christian missionary who cared for the children and asked them. He asked them to call him dad. So they were calling him dad, and this is a psychological kind of damage but instead of being a father figure, he preyed on them, on the youth and their vulnerability, according to the U.S. Department of Justice on a statement. And he escaped in Kenya from 2017, and then they caught up with him in 2019, and he was imprisoned after this particular one. And you can see the kind of a damage that the policies right here on the in Kenya, they are really not they are lacking. The policies, they are lacking.
Let me say something, right? They're like because of white people. They're like the white people who are the criminals of the planet. And you never get this. The white man has not been brought to justice. He's done so much damage to African people unfathomable. Even with the new damn thing he's doing now. But when Katie was talking about when we were growing up Catholics, right? She doesn't know that the Catholic Church is the most wickedest fucking institution on the planet. When I showed you, when we did the show yesterday, about the Catholic Church raped at least 300,000 kids, Mike. 300,000.
And
So imagine.
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, this that is in Canada. The others, sorry, that is in France. The others were in Canada.
Right.
You remember in Canada, some of them, their bodies have not been found. Some of them, they are still being.
But in Canada, they were raping the Indians. They would rape them, teach about to rape them, and kill them. They would kill them and bury them underneath the church. And so when the Indians finally started fighting back, they started burning these Catholic churches down to the ground. And all the white people, oh, why we let these people burn down our churches? I told you, black people, that's their religion, not yours. There's a religion of lies. That thing they worship is not the all, it's not God, it's not the Creator. That's why they never told you the rape they do. And imagine what they do in Africa was not been before this wicked ass Catholic Church who got access to African children. The rape, the murder, the abuse.
I was just saying, I think the Africans are even, they do not want to speak out against the Catholics because the Catholics, like I was telling you, the land the Catholics own is a lot. You move from one place, especially in a place where known as Canada, where sometimes but
ain't that funny? It was the Catholics said that black people were supposed to be enslaved. And all that land was stolen. Catholics never bought none of that land in Africa, Spike.
They didn't.
It was all stolen. For the
Catholics.
For the Catholics when they was coming into Africa. All that land is on stolen land.
None of them was stolen because the leaders were also being given favors by the Catholic Church and also taking the orders from them. And I was saying, apart from now these orphanages where the children are, you'll also find the harm also going in the schools where these are Catholic schools or whether they are other religious schools. You are thinking that the children
because that's mind control. So I got your mind. I'm teaching that white people better than Jesus. Shit. I get the children while they're young, mind control. Again, like we said, when you're adult, how do you unlearn a lie? You laugh at me these fights, but I was 18 crying about the lie. And until we say, you sound like you were traumatized. Yes, I was traumatized. Who's God then? I've been told that this Jesus is God. Does that mean there's no God? Does it mean that's how dangerous these lies are? It's a big lie.
So you will find that even till today, people are finding it's very, very difficult to also, get on board with the truth. We call it, like you say, cognitive dissonance. People do not want to connect the two. You know that the truth, and also if you're trying to move away from the two, you remain.
Exactly right. And see how the citizens and look, and they'll do this like when Katie was talking about with the vaccines, with the oral vaccine. They'll use the church to kill off black people. They get the dumbass preaching your community, the dumbest. I came from these are religious. They're not religious leaders, they're morons. So you get the moron who's probably the priest or whatever the fuck he is. We're gonna give the children all vaccinations. Bring the children to the church, and we're gonna bring them all vaccinations because the white man that told this goofy nigga to do it. And now he's killing off kids with these vaccines because you believe in some fake Jesus, and you listen to this idiot. Who's now supposed to be a man of God? He got some dumb robe, but he's a Catholic priest or some other a Baptist, whatever goofy denomination he is.
I wanted to ask.
But what he is a moron.
Go on.
I wanted to ask that is it when I go to let's say I'm going to adopt a kid, right? Do I have to pay for any? Do I pay any amount of money? Because that's something I've never
have to get
certificates. Those certificates are not for free.
You have to pay for those certificates.
And
so it's just like it's like slavery.
You're not buying. You're not really buying, but some people take it for buying. Like the Europeans when they come into Ethiopia. Ethiopia did ban it. But I was just saying that in other African countries, they feel like they are buying, because you're paying for those certificates and other different processes. So you feel like you're paying for that. But yes, I do believe the African people also ought to wake up, for there to be those, back in the traditional society, when someone was orphaned, the other relatives would step up and they would become their parents. So you will not find. Yeah. Yeah.
This the African. This one of the African proverbs that Jeremy Noah came in fiction. It takes a village to do what, Spike?
Raise a child.
It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
So the village for taking the child and the parents died.
Yeah.
Takes a village to raise a child, not some cracker coming in to do damage to a child. Takes the village to raise a child. You never give your children to white people.
But these days, because of what we have as a westernization, you find people not being bothered. You know, they say everyone ought to be on their own, not Ubuntu. You know, back in the day, we used to have Ubuntu. I am because you are, and therefore, if you are, you know, you are in danger, I'm also in danger, and if you are in danger, I'm also in danger.
Well, we've been broken, right?
Yes.
Right.
You
Now, I'm going to do with this kid, but this kid. This kid came from the village. I want to do with him.
Yeah.
That child is you, you idiot. That child is you.
So I remember.
That child is you.
Yeah. I was just saying, I remember stories where I've been told about, you know, back in the day when people used to lose their parents. Maybe they have lost one parent or both of them. They used to be kept in the custody of the other family, and they felt that they were part and parcel of that family. They were not treated as an outsider. They were treated as very much so part and parcel of the next family. So it's like you're raised with the rest of them, and you grow up and
you're raised with the African culture. You protect each other, and now the Africans are giving out these Western damn lies with this religion and this culture. You don't love one another. You don't respect one another. You don't care for one another.
I totally agree with Spikes, because right now I think even one of the things that is leading children to the streets, or even them considering themselves as orphans, is because of our parents, even the African parents.
Relatives.
The generation of right now, parents are not, you know, getting along with the kids so well. You know, there's the misunderstanding. There's like, you know, you not wanting to support what your kid says. You think like, you know, it is, you are claiming the generation, you know, like, oh, this generation of today doesn't want to listen. Why don't you listen to your kid as well? So you find that even the relatives themselves will never be able to support you or even help you in any way, because the parents themselves are created rather ensure that you are there's enmity in between you for you to be seen as a bad person, you know. So you find that relatives cannot even support you, so you end up in the streets and you consider yourself as an orphan.
It might also happen in that regard, but I've seen that even the societies have also broken apart. You know, the family unit has broken apart, the community has also broken apart. There is not a lot of cohesiveness that was there many years before you find people taking up responsibility.
That's on purpose. They did the Africans in America. They're going to do the Africans on the continent. That's on purpose. If I destroy the family, look, what's making up any strong nation? The family. If I destroy your family, I can completely destroy the nation. Then I can introduce you all kinds of positive shit like homosexuality, transgender, and all this shit because I destroyed the family unit. That's what these wicked bastards do.
People don't even realize it's happening, and they are using all means. They are using the media.
It's so sophisticated, Spike. It's so sophisticated. Exactly. These crackers are so sophisticated with their wickedness.
So yeah,
and you still say on the show, Spike, it's wickedly wicked.
The thing is, as an African, we cannot even fathom the level of a wickedness, so we can only call it wickedly wicked. If there was a scale where it's measured, then it would be off the scale. It will not be on that particular scale. If you're trying to measure the wickedness of these beasts, you will not even find a proper scale of measuring the wickedness that they have as being backward. If you all actually taking in people who have not, who also indeed, why you want and they also in, so it's backward. You are being backward. That is the kind of a nonsense that you will find. And I also do believe the government has not stepped up, because the government is also observant. You know, they have ministry children.
The government is controlled. The government doesn't care, because the government, they pick their puppets to make sure they don't do right. That's the reason why they're there. If they were doing right, they'd be murdered.
So
you're gonna get the call. Hey, you better stop that shit. You better stop it.
You will have them going in parliament and discussing the legislation on how to add their wages and their salaries, but they will not have the time to discuss on how to make better. Helping others struggling.
Ask for more money. We need more money. What about the children that are in the street that need your help? Fuck them. Fuck them.
That is exactly what we